Malawi's president to be flown to South Africa for emergency treatment. An alleged mafia boss to spend Easter in a Thai jail. Good day to you. Medical sources in Malawi's capital Lilongwe say preparations are being made to rush the country's president, Bingu wa Mutharika, to South Africa after he suffered a heart attack. Hospital authorities say he remains unconscious and in a serious condition. 78-year-old Mutharika has been president of Malawi since 2004. A dispute with Britain last year led to tit-for-tat diplomatic expulsions and a freezing of millions of rands in aid. The move by Malawi's biggest donor worsened an already serious money shortage, hampering imports of fuel, medicines and food. The ANC's National Disciplinary Committee has confirmed that it's received a letter from suspended Youth League President Julius Malema, reportedly challenging his latest suspension. NDC Chair Derek Hanekom says they've responded to the letter before the deadline expired. Hanekom wouldn't be drawn on the contents of the letter. It's however understood that Malema has threatened to take his case to court if the disciplinary committee fails to reverse its decision to suspend him with immediate effect. There's talk of an ANC Youth League NEC meeting to be held soon. SABC political reporter Thulasizwe Simelane explains.
There's no confirmation that it will happen, but the news is that it will happen on Monday. Today, they simply said there's no NEC meeting that is going to be taking place. If the letter has to do with a court process, you would expect that, for instance, you won't hear much from Julius Malema himself, given that if he's taking the matter forward to court, it may be tricky for him to be commenting about it as well.
Alleged mafia boss Vito Palazzolo will have to spend some time in a Thailand prison before the South African government will be able to intervene on his behalf. He was recently arrested in Thailand, allegedly using his South African passport. Home Affairs Director General Mkhoseli Apleni was addressing a press briefing in Pretoria.
We are also aware that Mr. Palazzolo used a Paraguay passport in 1992, which indicated he was a permanent resident holder in that country. We are currently investigating how this individual, known to us in South Africa as Victor Roberto Salvatore Maria Palazzolo, acquired a passport in a different name of Robert Palais Kapeshenko and used it to leave the country.
The national credit regulators urge South Africans receiving debt counselling to be wary of unscrupulous counsellors. This comes after it cancelled the registration of a Cape Town debt counsellor who pocketed money that should have been paid directly to the regulator. Legal advisor of investigations at the national credit regulator is Nurunisa Subrian.
This particular debt counsellor was charging consumers a 10% collection commission over and above the prescribed fees which he was permitted to charge them, which means that he was charging them a fee which, in terms of the Act, his conditions of registration and the regulations, he was not allowed.
A day after the US said it would lift some sanctions against Myanmar, pressure group Human Rights Watch has urged Western countries not to abandon their measures too quickly. A researcher for the group says the West needs to maintain leverage to negotiate for further change so that positive development is not reversed. The easing of some American travel and financial restrictions followed by elections in the country, also known as Burma, on Sunday. An advance team led by Norwegian Major General Robert Mood has arrived in Damascus for talks with Syrian officials on the deployment of troops to monitor a UN-backed ceasefire. UN mediator Kofi Annan says the team consists of 11 monitors.